turned. It was someone took a patch of dirt, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I understand that.
Just more central to try to get
Yeah.
a pickup game with another team.
Yeah.
Because now everyone's going to be all scattered.
Yeah, so it's going to be
that's
tough.
That's what was nice.
It's going to be a lot harder to schedule, friendly, unless you just go down the middle. I mean, I'm getting people telling me that there's people on Miller Field all the time. There's people telling me, oh, how come I see people walking their dogs, playing football, blah, 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 on Miller Field, and we can't play soccer? So I think that question will be answered next week when we go to the meeting and we speak to the big man, and hopefully we'll have an answer for us. I think he will. I think we'll have all the answers next week. And, all right, as far as Richmond Town, and, that's the update. The Rush, practicing, getting ready for the season, hoping to just hold on to what's been ours, basically, for the last 3 seasons, right?
Yeah. 3
in a row, just holding on to that, and hoping some girls step up. I can name a few. Girls, they need to step up. You got the Irises, Christina, Marie, your daughter's one of them, and she's got to, after a while, it's either you're going to do something or you're just going to be what you are.
Yeah.
So you got those type of players. Who am I missing? Rita's another one. Am I missing somebody else? I mean, there's a bunch of girls that just need to finally just step up. And hopefully, with the help of Demi, because you saw on Saturday night where they all, latched on to her. They all look up to her, and, so hopefully with her help, the girls, will get more out of them in the springtime. What else? We missed on anything else with Richmond Town? That's it, right?
No, I think
we covered everything else. All right, we could just move on to everything else that's going on in the world of soccer. Okay, you know what? We'll start with Frank. We'll start with my favorite team, the Red Bull.
I was gonna guess the Red Bull.
My favorite soccer team in the whole world.
I know you love them more than you love Italy.
Oh, I love the Red Bull. And
you love MLS.
The first game of the season, Frank. I think they were up 3-1 on Portland. All right, in the first half. Second half, Portland comes back and ties the game. End up in a 3-3 tie. So, let's see, where are they now? They're at 1 loss and 2 ties. All right, and that's good for 2 points after 3 games. That's not a good start. And I think this is their new coach right here. Yes, it is. They got a new coach. Obviously, almost every year they get a new coach.
Yeah.
So, another bad start for the Red Bull. Not surprising. You know what, with them, they might have some nice plays, but they don't have that, like Beckham. And there's not that many Beckham plays like this. Or even, like the Galaxy plays that they have. What's that other guy's name? Landon Donovan type players, They need to land a guy like him, I think,
Yeah.
They're getting all these other so players in my mind, and this is the reason why they're not ever going to go anywhere. So we'll take the Red Bull, and we'll just toss them right out.
Yeah.
Like we always do when we don't like a team. Gone, garbage. And I'm sorry if I offended anyone, Red Bull fans. After watching the Cosmos, growing up watching the New York Cosmos, and speaking of the Cosmos, after watching them, it's very hard to watch the Red Bull. And I think my friend Benny out there could attest to that.
Well, not right now. I think he's watching the Knicks game.
Oh, yeah.
He's a little bit too busy.
Yeah. Oh. Whoop-de-doo. They're beating one of the worst teams in the NBA. And do cartwheels now. Speaking of the Cosmos, Frank, the Cosmo girls just recently had a reunion. I guess they stopped by the current Cosmos team office there. I think it's in Queens. I'm not even sure. Don't quote me on that. But they got those girls. I mean, now these girls have to be, and again, no, not to be, sound rude, but they got to be old. These girls. Yeah. These girls were cheerleading in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they looked good back then in black and white photos, But now, what are they looking like now? I mean, no, not saying anything bad, but They did have a Cosmos girls reunion recently, which is also, it's always nice to hear. They had a Cosmos reunion back. I think the last one was in '91.
Okay. So.
Hopefully they won't have another one because they'll probably be like limping and canes and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just amazing how time really flies. I used to watch the Cosmos. I didn't miss a game, put it that way, back then, and it was free. I was on Channel 9. It was like free television back then. So, all right, other news, Frank. We got the U.S. Men's team. They're playing. They're getting ready for, and they're 0-1. And it's like the Red Bull. The same thing with the U.S. men's team. Never gonna go. It's like it seems like they get so far. I think the highest point was it might have been 2002, where they made the final 8 in the World Cup. I think it was 2002, and maybe in Korea. I think it was in Korea.
I think it was Korea.
And then that's the farthest they've ever gone, I think. And they can't get. It seems like they can't get up. They can't get over the hump. They get close to it and they drop back down. Well, they're 0-1 in qualifying right now. Right, they got a huge game coming up on Friday night versus Costa Rica. If they don't win that game, and this is a home game. Pressure's on. 0-2, going into Mexico.
Yeah.
And next week they're in Mexico, and that could be the end of the U.S. going to the World Cup.
And that would be really disappointing if they didn't even make it. That would be.
You want to at least make it, because that's a little tip. You tipped your hat a little bit to them by just making it. But again, when they do make it, even if they do, they're out. They're probably one of the better teams in South America. Playing all these South American teams, they should be one of the better teams normally. But again, that's why you play the games, and you never know what's going to happen. They had a 1-0 lead, and I believe it was Honduras the first game. And end up losing 2-1. Granted, it was on the road, okay, but they should have at least tied the game on the road. That's what you want to do when you're on the road. You want to at least come out of there with a tie. Honduras, they should have came out with points, but they didn't. Now the pressure was on. Now you're playing a Costa Rica team, which is not the greatest, not the worst. They're a dangerous team. They're a good soccer country. They know how to play the game, so. The pressure's on. U.S. has to win Friday night. They have to win. There's no way around it. You have to win. You're going into Mexico next week, and nobody wins in Mexico.
Wow.
Between the altitude, the team is a good team. I'll probably say they're a great team. They're one of the better teams in this region. And the fact that you're going to be 1-1, you hope you're going to be 1-1 going into that game.
Yeah.
All right? And you got to come on. I'm not even going to say they have to win. They got to come out with a tie. That's all. Because top 2 teams advance to the World Cup. If you're not the top 2 out of, I believe it's 6 teams. I think it's 6. All right? You're not going to the World Cup next year. All right. So that wraps up the U.S. That's what's going on with the men's team. They're getting ready. They're gonna announce, I believe tomorrow. Also, they're gonna announce. They didn't even schedule where the next 4 home games for the qualifiers are yet.
Okay.
So tomorrow they're gonna announce that. They're gonna let us all know where they're gonna be playing these games. Now, getting to just moving along to Italy. Italy and Brazil are playing also, and that's always, no matter what type of game, friendly, tournament, World Cup, whatever, it's always gonna be something big. And as you know, you got some news with what's going on with Italy and Brazil. What's their was the last time Italy beat Brazil? I think we spoke about that before.
I don't
the
think
show.
I was born yet. I think it was
been that long, right?
31 years ago.
31 years. 1982.
Wow.
Was the last time Italy got a win over Brazil. Now, we all know in '94, right? What happened in the finals?
Yes.
Right, with some penalty kicks.
The finals.
Italy was labeled that they can't shoot penalty kicks. They were labeled that type of a team.
It came down to the last kick.
Right. I think was it Baggio?
It was
It
Baggio.
was Baggio. That's
Wide, yeah.
wide or over the top. I think.
No, it was over the top.
Over the top, right?
That's right. I was like, oh, we got this. We're gonna tie it. We're just gonna go to more penalty kicks, and we're gonna beat Brazil.
Right.
That was a great game.
So
That actually was what really turned me on to soccer. That
final
World
That
Cup,
World Cup.
and
Okay.
the whole.
That was
Okay, yeah.
'94. That was in U.S. That was in the U.S. in
Yes.
'94. Yeah,
Yes.
and the USA got bounced, I think, by Brazil also, if my memory serves me right.
Yes, because I remember it was on the 4th of July.
Semi-final game or something, or a quarterfinal
I
game.
remember being outside in
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
In Bensonhurst, Gravesend, the border, wherever you went.
Right.
And I remember a bunch of guys riding a car with the Brazilian flag.
Right.
And I was standing there with my brothers and my cousin, and I was like, I can't believe that America won, you know?
Yeah.
And then a week or two later, that was the end of they beat Italy.
Well,
too.
you didn't expect the U.S. to do anything anyway, especially against a top-notch team.
Yeah.
And, you know, between Italy and Brazil, they got 9 World Cups between the two countries. So, you know.
I think it's, 5 for Brazil, 3 for Italy?
Italy has 4.
Oh, they have 4, okay.
Yeah, and they have 5.
5 and 4. Oh.
So,
I'm not a math major. I missed that one.
anytime these two teams get together, or two nations, should say 2 nations, no matter what, it's going to be a great game. And from reading the article today about the Italian coach, he was on that '94 team, or had some involvement with it. I really didn't pick up if he was on that team in some capacity, and he remembers the loss. He's still 31 years. He's still bringing that loss up. So tomorrow's game, he's coming out with his big guns. Friendly game or not, the game's being played in Italy. They're looking at it as a payback. Why they would want to play them now, I don't know, because in June they're playing in Brazil. They're playing the tournament in Brazil.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know what? There's not really much to hide. You can always check out other teams and see what they have anyway via whatever,
Yeah.
video or whatever. You can always pull up something on other teams. So whatever the case is, this is why Italy is one of the best teams in the world, because they played the best. They scrimmage, or they play friendlies against other teams, U.S. did play Italy recently, and they did beat them. But the difference with that is the Italians didn't play their top guns. They played a bunch of the younger guys, and the U.S. beat them in Italy, and it made the U.S. think that they'd be the power team, but you really didn't. Not if your top players are not there. That's how I look at it. But it looks like tomorrow's game, all the top guns are going for both teams. So, we'll see what happens. We got. All right, he did change the picture. We had Buffon up on the back screen there.
Yeah.
Just for that reason. He's starting tomorrow. So, all right. And next week, Italy plays for real. I guess this is a warm up to their World Cup qualifier. They're playing Malta next week, and I believe they're gonna make it. They're in a pretty good position right now to make the World Cup. They're top in their first place in their group. They have 10 points. The next team, it might be Denmark with 6.
Okay.
So they're in pretty good position. I don't see any problems with Italy making the World Cup. And again, that's the difference. They grow their players. They grow. These players from Italy, and I think it goes for all of Europe and most of South America. Since they're kids, they're growing them and they're feeding. What is wrong with the U.S. players? Why can't we get, these type of European type players here? I guess that's the $1 million question. Frank, we're gonna move on to the Italian League, Serie A, right? Well, you know what? Before we do that, let's go back. I got a couple of I got some schedules here for the U.S. Let's see. They're playing Mexico on the 26th. I think that's Tuesday.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's Tuesday.
Okay, U.S., and that's a 10:30 game because of the time difference in Mexico. And then they don't play. They got a couple months off. They don't play back until June. They play Jamaica. That's another game that they should win. Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, I think they're better off dancing and singing than playing soccer, you know? So that'll wrap up the U.S. As far as the Serie A goes, Frank, we got my team, Juventus. Looks like they're they're in good position right now. They still have, you got April, May. You have about 2 months, so you have maybe about 8 games to go. They have a 3-game lead in Serie A for the championship over Napoli. I think that's where you're from, right?
Partially.
Partially, right. Ludovicio's one of our guests here. He's from Napoli. He's a huge Napoli fan. But they're playing well. They're in second place with 56 points. And then AC Milan sitting in third place, followed by Fiorentina. Fiorentina's got 51 points, so I don't see them making a run at first. I think Juventus is going to win it. That's Buffon's team.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 games up with 8 to go, you lock up a couple more wins and you're pretty much...
Yeah, and you know what? Juventus has 4 losses, and that's a lot for a season, believe it or not. It really is a lot. 29 games played. Yeah, don't quote me, but I think it's 35-game season. So
Okay.
it might be a little less than 8 games that they're playing. And, again, it's just they ran away with this. They've been in first place pretty much the whole season. If they might have been tied for a week or 2. But Juventus, and that's where all the players come from for the Italian national team. Well, not all, but most of the players come from Juventus.
Yeah.
And that shows. It shows. You know, it's smart for a coach to do that for one reason. That team, to get a bunch of guys that played together all year, and it's just like pick them up from here and put them here. They already know how to gel.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to add the pieces, you know, and I think that's great. It used to be Milan years ago because Milan, they were one of the best teams. You just bunch of guys from Milan, take them to the national team, and there you go. So, as far as soccer goes, Frank, I think we got another 10 minutes to go. I think we pretty much covered everything that's going on with soccer between the rush and internationally. The women just won another tournament. The United States women's team. Did you know about it? No one knows. This team, all they do is continue to win after win. They win tournaments after tournaments. This last one, they beat Germany 2-0. It was played in Portugal. I was actually watching that game on Fox Soccer Channel last week. Our friend there, who scored the 2 goals? I forgot her name.
Morgan?
Alex Morgan with the 2. Actually, she scored the last 3 goals for the U.S. She scored the goal to tie the game up against Sweden.
Okay.
Against their former coach that just left the U.S. to go to hometown in Sweden. They were down 1-0 to Sweden in the second half. She tied the game, and that tie gave them the berth to play into the finals against Germany. And then she comes out, Alex Morgan again, scoring 2 goals in the finals. And I mean, not to say that she's the only one because they have other players, but she steps up all the time. And again, the U.S. women's team winning another tournament, but no one speaks about them. They don't get the notoriety. They just continue to do what they need to do. I think they're on a mission to win the World Cup. And actually, Wambach is close to Mia Hamm's goal record. I think she's like 4 or 5 off.
Yeah, I believe so,
record.
yes.
So that's what's going on with the women's team. I follow them. I don't know how many people in this country actually do, but they're a great team. They're America's team, right? They should be labeled as America's team. They do nothing but win. No one talks about them. And, as far as soccer goes, Frank, I think we wrapped up pretty much on everything. I want to cover on a couple other sports that we have. Like, we'll jump right into baseball because they're still in spring training. I don't know. The Yankees, they're talking about a weak lineup. It's not. I guess a lot of guys are hurt.
They're
Right?
saying A-Rod may be out
A-Rod could be done.
possibly for the year.
Teixeira's hurt.
he could possibly be for the year if he needs the surgery.
It's just
Granderson's out for what, a month or two?
Broke his. What did he break? His wrist?
I believe so.
I think he got hit in the wrist.
Jeter, they're saying.
I think Jeter's in. I think no, he just had to get another X-ray or an MRI done on his ankle. You know what? I think he's in trouble with that because he plays that position where he's always twisting. And
yeah.
I think his career could be done. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
Well, at least there's a shortstop. But who knows? There may be a vacancy in another position.
The way he plays the game, he's all out. It's all out or nothing with him because he doesn't play where he's not cheating. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is with Jeter, for years it was thought that once you signed A-Rod and Teixeira,
right,
he had no place to put him.
Right. Yeah.
But now, who knows? A-Rod could be done and Jeter could stay. So there may be an opening for Jeter somewhere. Someone could.
But I just think that ankle might not hold up.
Oh.
He's got screws and a plate in there. I don't think it's going to hold up. It's a tough every day. It's an everyday sport. It's not like once a week.
Yeah.
You can rest it. So we'll see what happens with that. I really don't know what's going on with the Mets. I really haven't focused much on them right now.
I know David Wright got hurt.
He got hurt. He's out for a week, yeah.
He's not guaranteed for opening day at this point.
Which to me always never made any sense. Opening day means nothing when you're playing 160 games.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, who knows how much further it could go?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to go much further than a week or into the season.
Johan Santana, they're still not sure what's going on with him.
Yeah, I heard that he might not make opening day, but they put this big emphasis on being there for opening day, which means nothing to me because they're playing so many games. They play every day. Miss opening day when you're playing 16-game season, like the NFL does. Speaking of the NFL, Giants not really making a big splash, signing a couple of guys that are mediocre, I think. And also, real quick with the Giants, because they're in the offseason. I don't like to waste too much time on teams that are in the offseason. Signed a few guys here and there, let go Bradshaw. Still waiting to see what's going on with Cruz. My gut feeling says that at some point the Giants they'll get him back. He's gonna have to take, because obviously if he was such a great player and people wanted him, he would have been gone. Somebody would have threw money at him, and that's not gonna happen. He still has to prove himself. Jets, they cleaned some house. They should have cleaned up the main part of their problem, which is the coach, and they haven't. Again, laughing stock of the league. Why? Because I bring you in as a GM. I'm the owner. I bring you in as a GM. Hey, Frankie, he's your coach, and that's it. Do you like that? I mean, come on.
You
want to bring in your crew.
I can't say that I would, but we're signing every quarterback that becomes a free agent.
Anyhow.
So there will be a quarterback competition.
And I think Sanchez is going to win it regardless of what, because he's the best of the crop that they got.
Is it finally Tebow time?
So, enough said with that. Guy was just telling me we got about 4 minutes. NHL, Rangers. The shortened season, you just want to get in. I think you just want to make the top 8. What's the point of winning? What's the point of being the number 1 seed right now, really, in a shortened season? I don't really see any point of it.
I don't think home ice means as much as it did.
It doesn't.
20 years ago.
I don't think it does.
You've seen too many teams lose the advantage, losing Game 7s at home. I remember when I first really got into sports, there was this big advantage for home ice, home court, even home field in football.
Yeah. So, to make a long story short, Rangers just they're in the top 8 right now after a big win last night over our New Jersey Devil rivals. Just stay in the top 8. It doesn't even make a difference. Right now, if the season were to end, they would play the Penguins, which are the number 1 seed. And the Penguins are, I believe, 2 or 3-0 against us in this season. But, again, shortened season, it means nothing. No training camp. The players basically just went to play,
Yeah.
So just get in there and anything could happen. The Islanders, tough loss last night. Good for them. They blew a 3-1 lead. That's the way it goes. We're 2-0 against them. Against the Devils, as far as the local teams, the Devils and Rangers are 1-1. this season so far. It's hard to pick a winner with them. Once the playoffs start, maybe we could weed out the bad teams, and then we could, like, next month we'll probably pick a team that's gonna maybe win the whole thing. We got basketball again.
I was waiting for you on that one.
Well, we saved the best for last, And if my good friend Benny Fazio is watching this show or watches it on YouTube, please don't comment on the Knicks when they win games only, and hide when they lose. All right? We're going to wrap up the show by saying that the Miami Heat will win the NBA championship for this season. Do you agree? The Miami Heat are not.
I'm hoping not.
Well, you can hope all you want,
but reality, right now.
The reality of it, they're the best team. They also have the best player in the NBA, and they're the best team. So, you know what? For the last couple of minutes, let's just bring in, I think we have Gabriella from the Richmond Town Rush. Let's bring her in, and maybe we could get some kind of info on what happened this past weekend. All right? Just to end on the NBA, basically the Heat and maybe Oklahoma. Gabriella, come on in and have a seat. You got about 2 minutes to...
and Cena over Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, okay. Oh, WrestleMania. Let's not get started.
That's a little
bit
sports.
Yeah. So, Gabriella, what's going on with the Rush? How you doing?
Good.
You doing good? Well, what happened to Epitrides? You didn't score any goals. Everything all right?
I was about to, but a girl pushed me.
Oh, that's right. That girl pushed you. Sometimes we got to fight through that stuff. Well, there's the Giorgio Chinaglia song. Gabriella, thanks for being on. Frankie, thanks for coming on again.
Thank you, John.
All right, ladies
Always
and gentlemen,
pleasure.
thank you for watching the Solar Rush Soccer Report. We'll see you soon.
I'm going to sing.
Manchester, feeling good. Rival team is raving too. On the field, think of you. Trainer says some love tonight. All right. All right.
Football crazy, yeah. Yes, I'm just football man. Legs that go no more. Give the ball for me. Don't wanna miss my chance. Blue she goes, just look. Nice and easy goal.
Yes, I'm the best. I'm the best in all the world. I'm the strongest of them all. I'm football crazy. I'm football crazy. I'm football crazy. Sunday night, match is through. Now got more time for